Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Marketing Box podcast. For today's Entrepreneur Spotlight, we have Angelle from Angelle Victoria Studio. She is a local artist here in Mandeville, and I'm just going to go ahead and let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Angelle, local artist from Mandeville. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, fun fact about Angelle, she is one of our team members, Katie's sister. So, yeah, we'll let Katie, y'all have seen Katie before on here.
I just hit her.
Okay. We actually just did a podcast yesterday with Katie, but you guys haven't seen that one yet. So, but yeah, we'll let Angelle get into, how long have you been doing art?
So I've been doing art for a long time, but not officially doing art since I messed up. I'm sorry. So I started doing art, I guess, in college, and it was fun. And I tried to take a art class, and they wouldn't let me in because that wasn't my major. But I begged the professor, and he let me in. And I was the worst out of everyone. Everyone was so great, and he complimented my work, and he would say, "Oh, it's very colorful. It's great." But I didn't ever take any schooling or classes or anything. But during COVID, I got laid off from my job. I've always been in the restaurant industry my entire life, and I loved it. It was so much fun meeting all the different people. Well, so no one knew how long COVID was going to last, right? So I'm enjoying this vacation. I'm drinking margaritas. I'm laying in the sun naked. Katie would have her Zoom calls, and she would have to say, "Don't come in."
Yeah, we had to coordinate that.
Wait, I love that. That's hilarious. It's dynamic.
Yeah, so I would have like a scarf around my head, and sunglasses on, and then nothing else, and paint, covered in paint, because I was bored, so I was just painting.
This went downhill real quick.
Yeah, it is. So anyway, I decided to try and sell some of this stuff because I don't have a job, and it actually started to sell for the first time in my whole life. And I was like, well, let's keep doing it. And so I kept selling, and before you know it, I had commission lists like 30 deep and then 40 deep. And it stayed like that for at least a year, and probably a year and a half. And my job called me back. And they're like, "Angelle, do you want to come back to work?" And I said, "No, I don't."
Like, I am living my best life over here.
Yeah, but it was a hard decision, going from a steady paycheck and benefits and insurance to being all on my own. Good luck. And I'm so glad I did it. And it was scary, but having faith every day and making my own hours, which is funny because people say, "Oh, you get to make your own hours. You can take off whenever you want." Like, yeah, I do get to choose my own hours, but it's which 15 hours of the day do I want to work? But I love it.
Remember what was your first piece that you sold, if you can remember?
Oh, it's probably one of the pet portraits, huh?
Oh, yeah. I used to do, yes, it was a pet portrait, but I called it pet portraits.
Oh my
Get
gosh,
it?
how cute.
Portraits.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
She's hilarious. And so I was living in my mother's old house by myself, and I was in college. I didn't have any money for cable, so I just had to entertain myself. And I came home, and my dog, my Boston Terrier, he was bad. He was sitting on top of the table, and I was like, "What are you doing?" So I fussed him, but he was so cute. I was like, "Get back up here." And I drew him, and then I colored him and painted him, and everyone loved it. And they said, "Can you do my dog? Can I pay you to do my dog?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And that's, Katie, you're right.
You were like, "Let me draw you like one of my French girls."
Yeah,
Oh
let
my
me
gosh.
draw you like one of my French girls. And I had lots of, but it was good. It was fun, and that is how it started, Katie. Good.
Well, I like that you brought up that, you're choosing which 15 hours of the day are you going to work. Because I feel like many people don't know that when you are your own boss, it does seem glamorous and it is so rewarding. But it doesn't mean you don't have to work just as hard, and you don't have, honestly, even harder, because you have to do this. Like, this is like you took that big leap of faith. You took that risk. So, and guys, if you don't know, Angelle has a very big following and it's really a strong community built up on Facebook and Instagram, and now she just started her own little YouTube channel, which I think I am all for. I love that idea.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, let's talk about the not so glamorous side of that, because an artist on the outside, very fun, creative. We see all of the amazing work that you post, but there's a lot that goes into that. What does that look like every day? Like, what does Angelle's typical day look like?
Oh, man. Okay. So I sleep kind of late. I sleep till 8. And everyone's like, why do you sleep so late? Well, it's because I work till like midnight. So I need to rest. But so I wake up and I put on my fancy clothes. You can't see it, but I'm wearing my painting pants covered in paint. Everything I own is covered in paint. That's a downside. It's my one fancy shirt. It's my Sunday best. I roll into work with my hair looking crazy. I try to do some makeup, work all day. And it's great because I have a walk-in studio where people could come in and see me and check out the gallery and shop. But I'm also trying to work at the same time. So if I have a busy day of people coming in, that just means a longer day at the back end where I need to get things done, right? But yeah, now I'm doing this YouTube channel, which is hilarious. But yeah, now I got to wear makeup every day, and and I'm like, oh, this isn't me. Yeah. And I wear my slippers. I still have to be me, but there's no social life at all. Sometimes I can make it home to have family dinner, but there's no dating, there's no friends. My friends are the ones that come see me at the studio every day, one of which works for free, which is really nice.
And I imagine, too, like, you're doing creative work, so you have to feel inspiration from somewhere. And, I mean, I'm sure people ask, like, I don't know if you get clients that will ask you for something particular, and then they're like, take this, go paint it, and you make it all pretty, or, like, you change an idea into something. I don't really know how that works, and I would love for you to explain that. But, yeah, I can't, like, doing creative work, you have to, there's no set, like, you could sit at a desk for 8 hours, but that's not going to, you're fueled in a different kind of way than majority of people.
Right. So a lot of clients do have an idea in mind, and they'll show me a picture or their room, and we'll kind of work together on what that would look like. But it has to be in my style, right? So it has to have the color. It has to have texture. Hopefully it has glitter. And but, I mean, just looking at TikToks, YouTubes, and just seeing what everyone's doing, that's actually how I learned all my techniques. It's from research.
Oh, really? Yeah. Wow. Like, so from other artists, whether they're teaching or they're just talking while they're painting. And that's what I told Katie, I think would be, because Katie tells us, like, you have such a wonderful, crazy life. Most people don't experience that much. Like, these stories that I feel like you have would be so interesting for you to tell while you're painting. Oh, man. So that's mainly what your YouTube channel is, right? You tell, like, your crazy dating stories and...
Yes. Right now it's mostly dating stories. Dating disaster stories, I should say. But eventually it's going to be me, you could see me painting and doing art and talking about just crazy stories in general. I'm in a singles group in Mandeville, in New Orleans, and all of Louisiana. And, and we're all friends. And it's hilarious. And so all these single girls have all these stories. And so we compare notes, and it's just the funniest thing. So they're going to come on and be, like, guests and saying their stories.
Oh, my gosh.
But some of them are, like, married now, and they're
like, I don't know if we should be talking about this, but yeah.
Like, I need to be in disguise. And I was like, we'll put a filter on you, a Snapchat filter. You'd be like a bunny.
That's
speak
hilarious.
freely.
So, I love that. Yeah, speak freely. I like that. I love that. That's too funny.
I get carried away. I don't even know if I answered your question.
How would you describe, though, your style? I feel like a lot of artists maybe have, I don't know if y'all call it like a niche, but you have like a typical thing that comes through in almost every piece of work. How would you describe
one of the
your
things
style?
I kind of was going to say is like this painting behind us. We hung up one of her paintings, which is just freaking amazing. If you kind of look at it,
beautiful.
Images don't do it. I'm gonna walk around and zoom into it, but while I do that, I want you to kind of explain kind of the whole texture, how it's got this shimmer, all of those things that are pretty unique. You don't see this a lot of times, and that every picture that you have, it's an original art piece. It's something that you're doing. These aren't like duplicated, mass done, all done specifically by you. And I mean, every one of them is amazing. I think the colors and all that, and people can customize something like this or something similar to that. That's why that they go to the studio. I don't know if you have an online presence too that shows all of this artwork and things like that. It's really, if you want and you see something you like, you can get that from it, also have it customized. And I think that's what she does. So I'm going to back around and let you talk about this picture while we zoom into it.
Sure. Okay, so one of my most popular paintings right now are pelicans, which is this beautiful piece right here.
Isn't that our state bird, right?
It's our state bird. So I love texture, and so I get this really awesome texture paste, and I try to use that in all of my paintings, just because it adds depth and dimension. It almost makes it look like oil painting, which I don't have the patience for. One day I will, but so I do a texture paste, and I do all sorts of different acrylic paints. So we'd call it like a mixed media, but the fun part about doing these is that I don't use the typical like artist tools. I use whatever's next to me that I think will create a cool texture.
Cool.
Even if it's my hands, which I have paint on my hands right now. But so yeah, and I just wing it. And so when people want a particular pelican, they'll let me know. I want to go colorful. Do your thing. I love blue. I hate pink, and I just go from there. Or if they wanted something a little bit more modest, we could do that. Muted colors, neutrals, golds.
Stuff that matches their house.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of art to do? Because I know, like in art, you can tell a story. We've actually talked about storytelling quite a bit on the podcast, and you can tell a story through art. What is your favorite kind of art to do?
Probably epoxy furniture.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, so you do epoxy resin, and you add colors and pigments, and you could create everything from like beach waves and beach scenes to how do you explain it?
It basically a piece of furniture, and she will put different things onto it to make it look like a beach scene or look like
That's
a
exactly
so
what
like
I
this
just said.
table.
Yeah.
So like she can make this table look like it's something else.
Yes,
Yeah.
like have
Oh,
you heard of like the
cool.
river tables and things like that? So
Okay, cool.
most people have like the wood cut out and they fill it in, but I like to do on top of the furniture that either you already have or I already have, and just make these really awesome designs. It's because you don't really know what it's going to look like. You could choose your colors, but it just kind of has a mind of its own. The way it all flows together, I just love it. It's very peaceful for me. It's very messy, very expensive.
I feel like you've met some interesting people throughout the whole experience, and people that want to tell a story through their art. Like, I know there was someone that got some angel wings recently, or flowers, and they all like have special meaning to these things. Do you want to tell us like some of the stories about like, how different people have come in, and then the art represents something to them?
Yeah, so we've done angel wings for a client. Her husband had just passed away, and that was really sad. So that was something to remember him by. Also, we had hummingbirds. It was to represent her parents that passed. Crosses with clay ribbons that we make with like suicide awareness, breast cancer. So we try to make things as meaningful as possible. I'm also doing classes, so you can make your own angel wings. You can make your own pelicans. And that, I didn't even think that would be something that people would tie into their actual personal life. I just thought it would be something they would want to paint. But a lot of people who did my angel wings class, it was to remember somebody.
And I'm sure that helped them cope with the loss.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Creating something beautiful out of such a sad thing.
I see the photos that you post of the angel wings, and I even told Katie, like, these are so pretty. I know. I love the angel wings. I think that might be my favorite thing that you've posted so far, the angel wings. And I like how they're all different, but they're all so pretty, So
I think we're going to have to get the office to do a group, like one of those sessions to where we all paint something. I think that would be so
wish
cool.
I was better at art and at painting. I'm just not. I really wish I was.
That's what everyone says.
I'm just not.
And then they take the class. I won't let you leave with Junka. Like, it's going to look so awesome. And that's the cool part about doing my classes is that you complete art that looks like you bought it for lots of money. It's not like a fleur-de-lis and a fence. It's something on a thick gallery canvas with different medias that you would probably never use unless you're with me.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's something you'll be very proud of, whether you're artistic or not. I'm there for you.
So would you say that art has kind of what has art taught you? Because I feel like this is such a creative profession, but almost you learn things as you create. Has it taught you anything or helped you change perspective in any way?
Oh yeah, patience for one. Patience and actually during COVID, we were all sequestered and I didn't see anyone other than my sister and my niece and my mother sometimes, and it was almost like a social anxiety developed. I forgot how to speak. I forgot, not all the way, but I didn't know how to carry on a conversation, and I would get nervous being around groups and being in art. I mean, I just meet so many different people, and they all have a story, and so it brings down all my defenses, all my guards, and we just laugh together, and we've even cried together. One day, I think I came home and I told Katie I had 5 different people cry in my studio. I was like, what's going on? Art therapy, and that's okay because I love it. I love making these friendships, but it helped me get through that part in my life. Also, before COVID, I was telling you earlier that I had a stutter. I still do sometimes, but I was so nervous at my old job that I was going to screw up something, or everyone's listening to me, everyone's watching me, and I have to get everything right. And now it's like I just have this confidence that I could be myself. I could wear my paint pants. I could have pink hair. I never would have done
Which
this.
I love, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Didn't Katie helped you dye it, right?
Oh, Lord.
We'll have to show pictures of that process.
So she had to bleach my roots. Oh, gosh. We didn't have any of the stuff you're supposed to do, have. And so she's just in there with gloves. When I rinsed it, I looked like a leopard or a leper.
So this time, your hair was the canvas. Okay.
And I was going to do it, and she was like, no, let me. And I was like, you know what? What could go wrong?
Well, I was like, I used to work at a salon, let me do it. And I really just worked in the call center or the front desk kind of thing.
To be clear.
But I had seen it done before.
You should have called Gabriella.
I should have. I had those barbecue basting brushes. That's what I had to use to because I didn't have a brush, and I think I did really well for what I was given my tools.
Just glad you didn't used to work for a heart doctor.
I can give you surgery.
No, she didn't burn off any chunks of hair or anything like that, so that's good.
The hair has changed, but the progression of Angelle since this whole changing career, she has really changed. I think being in the restaurant and commuting and doing all these things, she was go, go, go all the time. And now I feel just from an outsider's perspective, you can be alone with your thoughts a lot more. You're alone a lot of the day when you're working on your art. So Angelle is now listening to podcasts a lot, and she's listening to meditations, and I feel that you think in a different way. It's not all about, the social life and the dating scene. Now you're more into self-reflection and things like that. So I feel
Make me sound good.
No, it's true.
It's like a personal growth journey.
So
yeah,
nice.
I'm lucky because I live with her, so I can kind of see the outsider's perspective, and I don't think that you see it all the time. You just see it as you just doing your best, but there's been such a progression. You're a different person than you were years ago, and I think with that, Angelle has grown and changed.
So would you say that this is your purpose? Because it sounds like you finally got on the path that you were meant to be on, which, I mean, obviously timing is everything, and you're where you're supposed to be at every single point in time. But it sounds like this is your purpose.
I think it is. I really think it is. And it's funny because, y'all, I think COVID was my fault. I think it was. I was on the lakefront. I'm sorry.
You caused all this?
I mean, I didn't eat a bat or anything like that. But
Eat a bat.
Isn't that what they say? Oh, Lord.
No, yeah, wait, I did remember that kind of, I don't remember what was with the bats. They used to bring up bats with COVID.
I think someone like boiled a bat or they cooked.
And somebody supposedly ate a bat or
Yeah,
something.
they said it came from like bat poop.
Yeah,
or
but it
something.
was in
wasn't
China,
me.
right next to where they're doing labs on this whole thing. So that whole thing has been debunked.
Okay, yeah.
No, fair enough.
For the record,
It wasn't your fault.
Angelle did not eat a bat.
Nothing to do with bats. Well, I do have a story about bats. But
Oh.
that's for another day. So anyway, I walked along the lakefront and I was like, God, if you just gave me more time in my schedule, I would walk every day. I would do more things for you. I would do things for me, and I'd exercise, and I could do things for the community. Y'all, like a week later, Angelle, guess what? You have all the time you need.
Yeah,
Be
you don't have
off.
a job.
And I did, y'all. Every day I was at the lakefront or naked in the backyard, but it was my fault.
But also, you did keep well on your promise. You do a lot for the community too.
Yes.
Like that was a promise you kept.
Oh yeah, that's what I was getting at. Thanks, Kate. We have the same brain, except mine's a little crazier. But yeah. So now that I do have more time, I get to do different things that I never would have been able to do, like time wise, and getting other people involved in that too, just makes me. It brings such gratification to my life, like whether it's packing up meals for, at the church, or we do lots of toy drives. And what the funnest part about it is that it's all these people, all my customers, and can I say fans?
You have fans.
Fans. And they all want to help. They all want to do something good. They all want to have that same gratification feeling, right? And do something for the community, but they don't know how. So the way we do it is that they get this opportunity, whether it's donating money, and we make painting art kits for low-income children or teddy bear drives for the abuse shelter. You wouldn't believe how many people come together and do this, and it is like the most heartwarming thing in the whole world. But yeah, every single day I wake up grateful, and I never would have. I probably shouldn't be banging on the table. But yeah, it's just such a difference, thankful every single day.
Wow. I feel like, yeah, not a lot of people are, and we talk about finding your purpose all the time. Mm-hmm. And it takes that leap of faith, and sometimes it comes right after that, a hump that you can't see over. You don't know what's coming in the next few months. Mm-hmm. And then, boom, now you're looking back and you're like, oh, my gosh, wow, this all worked out perfectly for me. And I couldn't see it at the time. Mm-hmm. But that's so amazing.
Yeah, gotta have faith. Gotta have faith.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really like about this story, too, and I think we talk about this a lot as far as, like, the fear of failure and the whole idea of almost like that COVID pushed you into something that made you find your passion. But a lot of people are still sitting there wondering that they're stuck in their job, and they're not necessarily happy. So if you could give somebody advice about that as far as pushing through it, because even though your circumstance almost like put you without any other options, I guess, per se, you made the most of it. Mm-hmm. And you took, lemons and you made lemonade. And it sounds very cliche, but I mean, you're living proof that this can happen, that you can live your best life if you just kind of face those fears. So if you could talk to somebody, like if somebody was listening right now that hated their job but loved art or wanted to do, how would they get started? Or, what kind of advice could you give them?
I'm so glad you asked. So my main point of advice would be, don't give up. You have to, you can't say, well, if it doesn't work out, right? You can't think like that.
Right.
When people say, oh, Angelle, you started a studio during a recession. Yeah, I did. It's true. But I won't ever quit. If it's a slow month, I'll go wait tables to make the rent. But I'm never going to give up. And if that's the mentality that you have, you're not going to fail. If you go halfway in the water, yeah, there's a possibility that you're not going to make it to the other side. But it's all here. Having faith in yourself and wanting to work and actually put in the time and do it. That's my biggest.
I love it.
I love that. Yeah, that's like,
Make
we
you wanna
talk
quit your
about this
job?
all the time. And it really is crazy how many entrepreneur stories are so like, all it takes is that one moment and that leap of faith. And if you have that like true burning passion for it, you can make it happen. Totally. But you have to let that fear go.
Gotta.
You know, the fear of being broke, the fear of it not working out. Like you just got you got to let it go. And we actually just made a podcast about overcoming that fear. I asked a question on this like little community thing we all have called Product Hunt, and I said, what's the number one reason why people don't start a business? What holds people back from starting a business? And we got like 20 responses, and they all went back to fear. So, you know, what is there something that you always tell yourself? Like, do you still get that fear that kind of comes back? Like,
sometimes. Like February was a rough month. You know, it had you would think with Valentine's Day it'd be very busy, but I think with Super Bowl, Mardi Gras, it was, have the mercy, y'all. It was everything in 1 month, and it was the slowest month I'd had in 3 years since I started. So I was sweating a little bit. And, you know, I had a pity party one day, and then, you know, you give yourself, like, okay, well, at midnight, no more. I got to figure out a way to get out of this. And I came up with parties, you know, came up with a party schedule. And the next month was a great month, and it's going to keep propelling forward. But you can't let fear overcome you, you know. And every single time that I think, does that hurt your microphone when I do that?
It just will make a little bump sound, but it's all right. You're not hitting real hard.
Okay. So whenever I'm nervous or scared, I'm like, wow, this is the lowest I've gotten. I say something great's going to happen, and I'd say a prayer or whatever you have faith in, do that. And sure enough, y'all, it's crazy. The next day, I'll get a huge sale or a great opportunity. It's incredible, really. It's incredible.
Love it. That's leaning into it. And then we talk about this all the time. It's like having faith. And the opposite of fear is faith. Like if you have a tremendous amount of faith, it diminishes fear because you're believing in the purpose behind you. So, you just reiterated what we always are preaching. And I think that proves like it goes hand in hand with the success. It's not just us saying it. There's evidence right here with Angelle. So what's like the next steps for Angelle? Like with the studio, I see you have like the painting events. Is that, you know, something that, because to me that seems like it's a lot of fun. I think you could do this corporate wise, you could do this friend wise, bachelorette party, or I don't know if a bunch of bachelors would do it unless you went back to painting naked. But
that's a whole other episode.
That was actually a funny one, Mike. That was a funny one.
But so what's next for Angelle, or what do you think? How do you want to push this out?
What's next? You know what? I want to grow my YouTube channel. You know, I want to do art classes online, you know, and do sessions. I say you know a lot. I never realized.
No, you're great.
Wouldn't it be funny if you came full circle and you became the person that young, aspiring artists looked up to, just like how you looked up to the others? Wouldn't that be funny?
Actually, I have some younger girls that are going to come in, and they're on their free time during the summer and just kind of help out and learn different things. Also, I reached out to a few mothers on Mandeville Mamas, and some of their kids are going through social anxiety, you know, growing up. It's hard growing up right now, you know, with all the social media and TikTok and and it's a lot. So I said, you know, if they want to learn to paint and just kind of have a relaxing time, they could do that too. My door's always open, but not after 6. But it's going to be great. You always, I don't know where I'm going with that, Shannon.
Well, it's hard to imagine what you've had such success in a short amount of time. But when you think about it, your whole life has been leading up to this. So it's hard to be like, oh my gosh, 5 years from now, what do you see yourself still having this studio, or maybe getting a bigger studio, or what?
I would love to have a studio where I'm at, and also on Magazine Street. That is like where you gotta be. Yeah. And I would love to be surrounded by all my favorite artists out there. That would be fantastic. And have more of an actual gallery than just a studio. But still do parties, but you know.
But I do think it's important for our audience to understand, because we already know a little bit about you, but why don't you describe your personality? Like, are you more of a free spirit, or you would go with the flow? Like, if you mess up, you don't really see it as a mistake. Like, describe your personality a little bit, because we've talked about all these big hurdles in your life that you've overcome, but we didn't really describe who you are.
I want to see how Katie describes me.
Yeah, Katie, how would you describe her?
I would say, not that this is about me, but we're very different. We're like the two opposite ends of the spectrum. My mom always said Angelle is Gilligan's Island. She'd say, oh, Angelle's Ginger and you're Marianne. And I always said, I want to be Marianne. I want to be Ginger. But there's good things about Marianne and there's good things about Ginger. Right. So one thing about Angelle is Angelle doesn't follow the rules. Angelle makes her own rules. If there's a certain way to paint, like I would have went to school for painting and I would have learned how to paint it and paid all this money. Angelle was like, I don't need school. I don't need lessons. And she figured out and she's successful. And same thing with marketing. I wanted to learn marketing, so I went to school. I work for a marketing agency. Angelle's like, I don't need none of that. I don't even need an agency. I'm going to get it online, and I'm going to do it myself, and I'm going to do it a very unconventional way. And I thought to myself, this will never work, or this doesn't look good. I would have done this differently. And you know what? What do I know? It all works. Angelle's super successful. She's got her own studio. So Angelle does not follow the rules. She marches to the beat of her own drum. And you know what? She puts all of this effort behind whatever she does, so it's going to be successful.
Oh, I love you. But yeah, easygoing, free spirit, hippie. I'm the bougiest hippie you ever met, though. Katie says I'm either Four Seasons or homeless looking, and that is very true.
Like Angelle will spend $400 or $500 on a pair of shoes, but if we went to McDonald's and the meal was $5.99, she'd be like, "That is too much."
Oh,
what? I am not paying.
Wait, do y'all watch Friends?
I used to.
So she's more of like the Phoebe, and you're more of the Monica,
Oh,
or she would be
yeah,
Rachel,
100%.
and you would be Monica. Yeah, as I've always wanted to be a Rachel, but I feel like I'm right in between being Rachel and Monica. But you seem like you would be like a Phoebe, like march to the beat of her own drum.
Yeah.
Except you probably have more talent because Smelly Cat. I don't know if y'all know anything about. Yes.
Oh, smelly cat. We actually taught Ruby that.
Oh my God.
It was pretty funny. But actually, you know that movie Along Came Polly?
Yeah.
That's more me with like the ferret.
Wait, Along Came Polly. That's where like Jennifer Aniston takes him to that Indian restaurant,
Yes.
and he's like sweating the whole time. Yeah, I've seen that before. That's actually back on Netflix. So if y'all haven't seen that, it is on Netflix.
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh my gosh,
Like,
that is too good.
I want to get a studio pet, and some of those on the list would be one of those giant rabbits, or a pygmy goat. Katie says no to all of them. And this morning,
Keep it at the studio.
I Googled are groundhogs good pets, and that's illegal. You can't have a groundhog as a pet.
I could see you having a goat. I've always wanted a little baby goat, because you see how they do like yoga with baby goats, and it's supposed to be therapeutic.
They just jump around, and they're so cute.
Yeah.
But she would wear like little overalls with paint splatter.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, but goats shit everywhere. Like
Oh,
they don't
no,
stop.
not my baby.
Yeah, no, you're
Not my baby.
Look,
the
you
first
could just-
trained goat.
No, they have. I think they have like diapers that you can put on animals now.
Lord.
So it's like,
Oh,
They
I'm
do.
not changing a goat diaper.
Hey, goat.
My baby's gonna just use the potty.
Oh.
well,
That's
is
a
there
whole other
anything
YouTube.
that we haven't asked you that you really wanted to get to? Because this is your time. We're spotlighting you. So maybe if there's something that you've learned that you really want to share with people, or if there's some advice that you can offer, or maybe something that you wish you would have known going into this.
I think that you got to follow your heart and your brain. You know, what I mean by that is you actually need to think about what makes me happy. And if you would have asked me, actually, when I got interviewed for my previous job, they were like, what would be your dream job? And I told them this job that I was, applying for.
Right.
But it really was. I wanted to do this job and then also be an artist. And she's like, oh, okay, those are your dream jobs. Like, yeah. So I put that out into the universe, and y'all, I got both of those jobs, both of my dream jobs. And living with intention, making a plan for yourself and actually doing it. You watch on, all over the internet right now, TV, that these people are making it against all odds like me. And why can't that be you? There's no reason why that can't be you. And you just can't be afraid. make a plan, find out what you want to do, and do it. Feed pics.
Well, thank you for coming on today. I will include all of the links to your pages and where they can follow you and your art. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
having
you were
me.
awesome.
This is fun. I'm looking forward to our paint party.
Look, we're going to do it.
gonna paint
I've already
Sean.
mentioned it, I think, to Sean, because I think last time we had all the devs in and all that, we're looking for something to do. You know, like something that was like a team building type thing. And I think this would be something that would be a lot of fun because everybody can do it. It's like everybody can participate. Like what you said, it doesn't matter how the talent level, it doesn't matter. And I think it'd be a really good bonding experience. So we'll definitely be doing that.
Be a painting of Sean.
And
I don't want that in my living room.
if you watch this podcast
offense,
because
Sean.
you are a fan of Angelle's, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. And we feature local successful entrepreneurs and also entrepreneurs that aren't local. And every single one of their stories is so inspiring. And I think we could all learn from everybody. So, yeah, y'all don't forget to subscribe.